Hi everyone, and welcome to today's live Ielts class. My name is Adrian, and I'm broadcasting this lesson to you from Budapest, situated on one of the world's longest rivers, the Danube, which cuts through Europe. How's everybody doing? Good to see some members in on class. Hi Jason, hi Sahil. Good to see so many students. Hi Natavan, hi Pachu. Pachu, you're very studious in both our General Ielts Help class, that's our other channel, and this one. That's great. Good for you. Hi Bucky, hi Mohammed. Hi Kisi, good to see you in class as well. I did get your email, so I'll reply to that, Kisi. No worries. All right, everyone. Ielts speaking for higher bands today. Some original, fresh new strategies out of our think tank. Our materials are coming from our websites, aehelp.com. for academic Ielts and gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com for general Ielts. By the way, this is academicenglishhelp.com as well. Just take a quick peek at those sites. They are beauties. Blue background, academic Ielts. Click that big red button. Do yourself a favor. Join our full course. General Ielts, green background, click that red button. All right, enough of that preamble. Let's get cracking. If you have questions about Ielts or products, just want to say hello, send an email to adrian@aehelp.com. That's my email address, adrian@aehelp.com. Hi, Marwa. Good to see you in class. Live streaming, it's 15 to 16 o'clock Central European time, okay, for academic Ielts. Today, speaking part 1 and 2, original script with some original strategy. Tomorrow, task 2, open question, then reading strategy on Friday, and a members chat class. Somebody already requested a task 2 for that one. Members, send me requests. 27th, 28th, 29th, we're shooting some other videos, so no class. 30th and 31st, speaking part 3 and listening strategy. Now, let's talk about Ielts speaking. Okay, so students, right off the hop, I want to give you a few gems. Okay, gems are precious stones like rubies, diamonds. I like them. I think most people like diamonds and rubies, shiny rocks. I don't know. We think they're amazing. These are diamonds. These are gems. These are rubies when it comes to Ielts speaking scores, Ielts band boosters, okay? Thank you, Kareem, for those pink hearts. I appreciate it. Yeah. These will boost your band scores, okay? When you practice these, use them correctly, you will boost your band scores. First is correlative conjunctions. And I'm sure many students learn from books and other teachers that you need to join your ideas together in both in your writing and in your speaking. Aha, I just used the correlative conjunction there. Absolutely, that's very true. Most students use the tried and tested coordinating conjunctions like and, nor, but, for, so, yet. Many students use subordinating conjunctions, which is great, in order to, however, on the other hand, nevertheless, when, if, since, while, when, all those beauties. That's great. Those are your subordinating conjunctions. There's another group called your correlative conjunctions, and I know it's a review for some of you, and you might say, hey, Adrian, you already said this like 1,000 times. But please, entertain me. What are correlative conjunctions? Okay, what are correlative conjunctions? Marasa, those are the coordinating conjunctions. Fanboy, for, and, nor, but, or, yet. Yep, I'm happy you remembered that mnemonic device, Marasa. That's what it's called. What are correlative? Co-relate, together, relationship, right? Afrar's fanboy is coordinating. Oksana, moreover and furthermore are what's called additive expressions. They're not conjunctions necessarily. Okay. Correlative conjunctions, ladies and gents, are paired conjunctions. Okay. So they're paired words that join and emphasize. Okay. Such as both and. Like this. Both my brother and my sister play the piano. All right. Now, ladies and gents, this is a speaking class, and it's kind of funky because I can't hear you, but you can hear me. And it's a big class. There's 230 of you in this class right now, kind of like a university lecture hall. So if all of you were speaking to me, that would be very tricky. Vivek, very good. Sahil, very good. Not only, but also, absolutely, those are correlative conjunctions. However, you should repeat what I say nice and loud at home. Okay? Repeat aloud. Okay? So repeat aloud. When I say a phrase, an expression, a sentence, an example, one of your fellow students who's chatting, when I correct them, read what they write, say it. Say it loud, okay? So nice and loud. Hear yourself, okay? Neither nor, shanze, is a correlative conjunction. Very good. When and while, pachu are not correlative conjunctions. Correlative conjunctions are paired words that join and emphasize. They make it strong, okay? They make what you say strong. An example is both and. So I can say, again, repeat me. I can say, my brother and my sister play the piano. And that's cool. That's a coordinating conjunction, so that's all good. But if I want to say that a little bit more, like, check this out, look at my family, they're super cool, we're all musicians, then I can say that louder and stronger with a correlative conjunction. So I can say, both my brother and my sister play the piano, okay? Those correlative conjunctions are used by good communicators. They're used by people who give speeches and lectures regularly to control language. When you use them in your IELTS speaking correctly in context, you will improve your score. They include whether or, it's kind of a closed set, okay? Neither nor, either or, not only, but also, both, and those are all the ones that come to mind for me right now. But hey, master using those ones and you're good to go, okay? All right, so let's try that with one of the questions today, okay? So we'll go through the speaking in a little bit of an interesting way today. So we'll jump right into one of the questions. Part 1, speaking part 1, is questions on a general topic. Okay, so let's go for this question right away. What do you use for learning? Okay, so imagine you're sitting in the IELTS exam, you're looking at your examiner, and your examiner asks you, what do you use for learning? Okay, it's quite an open question. Lots of ways you can answer that. What do you use for learning? Again, remember, repeat nice and loud these questions. What do you use for learning? Sahil says brain. Neil says internet. Girls and guys, did we really forget that quickly what we're doing here to boost our band scores? Correlative conjunctions. Please give me a full sentence using a correlative conjunction to answer this question. What do you use for learning? Okay? So I want to see full answers using Correlative conjunctions. All right, the first one I see, it's kind of a simple one still. Our Fars says both books and the internet. Okay, our Fars, it's better than most so far, but please full sentence. So everybody repeat. Not only do I use books, but I also use the internet for learning new information. Or let's go with Afrar's. I use both books and the internet to learn new information. Okay, those are high-level answers. Those are going to get you some better marks or better band scores. Mahe V says, I'm using both online courses like Udemy and research books for machine learning. Very good, Mahev. I like it. Okay. Can anybody try a different one, like either or? Okay, let me do one with either or, and then we'll go to the next one. So I either use traditional books or the internet to learn new information, depending on the topic, such as old literature or new technology, respectively. Real fancy answer. That'll get you a band 9. Okay. So just throwing a different one at you, either or. Repeat after me the question. What do you use for learning? I either use traditional books or the internet to learn new information, depending on the topic, such as old literature or new technology, respectively. Okay? That means that I use traditional books to learn about old literature, or I use the internet to learn about new technology, in that order. Begzod says, the main tool for studying English language is my laptop, not only because it helps me to watch Mr. Adrian's lessons, but also I write most of my essays with its help. Begzod, the ending, with its help. Okay? Otherwise, good, Begzod. I like it. Jason G says, I not only use, because it's present, Jason, I not only use the learning that I acquire from books, but I also use it from the internet, depending on the information. Yeah, Jason, you're a little bit off topic, but that's all good. Okay, just revise it a little bit. Kind of on the right track. Okay, good. All right, some good action there, students. Good ideas. So you can either use the correlative conjunction for 2 or more different tools that you use for learning, or you could use it for the reason for using those tools, as a couple students cleverly did. Both of those are great. All right, that was smart. All right. Eugen, good to see you in class. Okay, so let's go back again to these Ielts speaking band score boosters. All right. Got a couple more good ones for you here. This number 2. Okay, so just like with your writing, cohesion, connection among your ideas is very powerful to get a better Ielts band score. Why? Because it shows to the examiner that you're not just memorizing catchphrases, as many books and teachers will have you do, but you're actually communicating. You're actually thinking throughout your speaking interview, and you can prove that by making connections among answers. Okay? What do I mean? Well, I mean using a phrase like, as I mentioned previously, okay? So that's one way that you can start it off, and then create that connection. With every speaking interview, you should be able to make at least a couple good connections between or among your answers. Why? Because they're connected, okay? Part 3 questions, the examiner will say, part 3 is connected to the topic of part 2. Of course you can make connections if you did a good job, all right? So students, let's do that. Let's make some connections. Before we do that, give me some other leading expressions to show your listener that you're about to make a connection. Okay, one way is, as I mentioned previously, and then you make the connection. What's another way? What's another way to show your listener, show the examiner in this case, that you're about to connect with what you said previously? So here is a suggestion by Sahil. Sahil says, as I told you before, sure, just say it politely, right? It's easy to be rude in these kinds of situations, so careful, sound polite. As I told you before, sure, let's get a few different ones going here so that you have a good tool set to use. Aikiki Umid says, as I told you earlier, or as I discussed earlier, sure. Okay, that's another way. There's lots of ways to do this, obviously. Ravi, very good. As I explained previously, I'm trying to use as many different combinations here as I can. So here we go. As I explained previously, sure. Anything else? Let's see. Like I said, Olga, that's a good one. Sweet, short, simple, effective. Like I said. Okay, good. So all of those are fantastic. They're very, very nice ways to catch the examiner's attention to the fact that, hey, look, I'm happy to be in an English conversation with you. It does not worry me. I'm not stressing. I'm not panicking. And I'm not just giving you memorized information from before. Hey, Rekha, Rawat, nice to see you join in as a member. Awesome. Rekha, send me an email so I can hook you up with the 6 practice exams that we use in the classes and a couple other goodies, perks. So Rekha, make sure you send me that email, okay? I think you have my email address. If not, I'll see it at the end. Okay, so let's practice that. Okay, let's practice this connection. Okay, so now we're practicing connections. We're practicing correlative conjunctions, all right? Again, we're focusing on these band boosters for your speaking. Here we go. All right. Let's go with a little bit of an expanse. Okay, let's answer 2 questions. So before we can connect, we have to give some information. So let's answer this first question, students. Let's answer this first question, and then we'll do a connection with another question, okay? So let's do it logically. Let's answer this one first. What are you learning these days? So let's get a foundation so that we can do our second strategy. Give me a nice full sentence answer. Use a correlative conjunction. Answer this question. What are you learning these days? Okay, what are you learning these days? Just give me a nice full sentence answer for that one. Sevgi says, as I mentioned before, I'm trying to improve my English skills. Apart from that, I want to pursue my master's degree and specialize in infrastructure planning. Sevgi, that's a great answer if you've already talked about improving your English, right? So English is definitely one. You're learning English these days. Well, nowadays, okay, nowadays is a nice way to paraphrase these days. Nowadays, I'm not only learning English for international study, but I'm also improving my communication skills for my future profession? Sure. By that, I want to show you that learning English and learning communication, not the same. Okay, keep that in mind. If you want to get a high IELTS band score, focus on both. Improve English, improve communication. Put them together, you'll do great. All right. Sandeep, that was a good answer there. Jump back to it just a moment. So Sandeep Akaria says, I'm pursuing my undergraduate degree in management stream with accounting as my major subject. Okay, good. All right, I like it. Not a correlative conjunction in there, but it works. It's a nice complex answer. Let's see. Mahe says, these days, I'm not only focusing to learn machine learning, acquire. Mahe, try not to repeat, even if it's the name of what you're learning, Mahe, try not to repeat the same word. So these days, I'm not only focusing to acquire information on machine learning, but also studying English to improve my communication skills. Yeah, Mahe, it's a good answer. Just avoid using learn 3 times in the same sentence. All right. Begzod, currently, I'm trying to master the English language and pass the IELTS exam. It is essential for either my future studies or my final exam. Both my future and my final exam, Begzod, is better there. Okay. Tell us for Tuganimana, I either use video tutorials for learning new application languages or books related to language. All right. Some good answers there. I like it. Okay, and I see some students applying that second strategy like Vishit. As I mentioned earlier, I'm reading a lot on investment management as it occurs well for my work as well. Okay, I didn't get that second part, Vishit, so much, but you're on the right track. Okay, so here's my answer. Again, repeat nice and loud. Part 1, what are you learning these days? Well, nowadays, I'm not only learning English for international study, but I'm also improving my communication skills for my future profession. Good. Now, let's go to this one. If you could learn any new skill, what would it be? All right. So let's take this one and make the connection. Okay, let's make the connection. So let's use that second strategy, as I mentioned previously, or as I told you before. Let's use that from our first answer, which for me was learning English and communication, and let's adapt it to if you could learn any new skill, what would it be? Okay. So let's see, how well can you make connections among your answers? That will surely improve your band score. I'll throw something up there. By the way, students, if I don't catch your comment, don't run away. Don't be shy. Don't stop commenting. I always try to catch different students. Members, they contribute to the channel. They support us doing this for everyone, so they get a little bit of a preferred treatment. They're also easier to see. Their names are in green. So that's the only difference. But I'm always trying to catch different students, so don't be shy, okay? So, Jason G, since I have to attend my uni courses and also I have to work hard for my upcoming English exam, I'm focused on both the context as well as English lessons. Jason, a little bit confusing. Take out the thus because you have since. Sahil says, as I said, I'm learning English. Apart from this, I want to acquire new skills like target shooting. It's target shooting, Sahil, target shooting, okay? A little bit more clear. Mario Espatia, my skills to study would be listening because this is my worst habit. Sometimes I write the wrong words, so I would love to acquire this skill. Mario, connect with your previous. So as I mentioned, I'm learning English And since my listening is my weakest ability, I would love to be able to acquire this skill. Okay, that would be good. Make that connection. Dilpreet Shran says, although I want to learn English, I also want to learn cooking because it's an important Indian tradition. Dilpreet Shran, great try. Just take out the but. Never use although and but together because, hey, two negatives, they cancel each other out. They make a positive, and you don't want that. Very awkward in communication. Careful with that, okay? Careful with that. That's why although is not a correlative conjunction, okay? All right. Sure. Let's keep moving along. Don't worry, lots of chances here. It's early yet, okay? Mohammed El-Tobgi says, as I told you before, I'm learning English. Furthermore, improving my legal skills. I'd like to be an international lawyer. Yeah, that's very good, Mohammed. That's why you're learning English. So as I told you before, I'm learning English, and this is connected to my future studies of what I want to improve, which is becoming an international lawyer. Okay, so something like that. Very good. Okay, Begzod. As I told you previously, I'm learning English, and also I do want to have coding skills as I'm going to be a computer programmer in the future. This is what I'd like to acquire. Very good. Rekha Rawat. As I explained, I'm learning English with this. I want to explore more about cooking. Very nice. Beautiful answers, students. Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned previously, I'm dedicated to master English, and this is because I would like to acquire the skill of acting if I had the chance to master a new ability, because I want to be a Hollywood star. There we go. Be creative. Sure, why not? Who's to tell you otherwise? Dreams are born first, and then they become a reality. So repeat after me. If you could learn any new skill, what would it be? As I mentioned previously, I'm dedicated to mastering English, and this is because I would like to acquire the skill of acting if I had the chance to master any new ability. Why? Because I want to be a Hollywood star. Okay? Let's do a couple of quick typo corrections there. All right. And again, let's avoid repetition. Always a different way to say the idea, no matter how complex and specific. Practice your paraphrasing. I won't get into that, but definitely practice it. Okay, students, doing a great job. Fantastic. So far, we've talked about 2 band boosters. Okay, that's our focus today. We're boosting our band scores for Ielts. Number 1, use correlative conjunctions. Number 2, connect among your answers. Okay, refer to information that you've shared with the examiner. And number 3, flowing, smooth examples. Okay, so try to, not just try, but do include examples with your answers, real life examples, and make them flow smoothly. So avoid using for example or for instance. If you do, that's okay, once or twice, but try to have them flow smoothly, okay? So use like or as. Or just is another one. Or simply just say it. Now, the reason I'm telling you that is because it's common these days for examiners to interrupt students if they start using for example or for instance, okay? Note, it is common for examiners to interrupt candidates when they hear for example or for instance. Okay, so careful with that. So instead, we want to make our examples flow nice and smooth. So smooth transition using like or as, okay, or just, okay. Or in my case, it's okay. In my case is getting close to for example. So careful with that, all right. Namely is all right as well. Shanze, it's not bad. That's a quick transition. So here we go. How often do you study? Let's use some strategies here. How often do you study? Give me a nice full sentence answer for how often do you study. And I want you to include an example. Make it flow smoothly using like or as or just. All right? And don't worry, we'll have a chance to use all of these in combination. These beautiful, wonderful strategies. So let's go into this one here. And give me a nice answer. How often do you study? Give you a chance. Give you a minute. Stay focused, students. Kailash Shah says, I usually study once a day because I have to do office work as well. Kailash, where's your example? Just yesterday, and then lead into it. Sevgi, for school lectures, I don't study as much as I used to as I'm a newly graduated student. Sevgi, you haven't answered the question of how much do you study? Okay, how much do you study? Sahil says, I reckon that I study for 10 hours, like I'm preparing for an IAS examination. Sahil, nice quantitative language. Good for you. And it requires a lot of hard work. Just the other day, I wrote 4 essays and read 3 chapters. Sahil, that would be your flowing example. Okay, so one more time, Sahil. It's a good, your response is a nice start, and I want to finish it with a nice example, Sahil. I reckon that I study for like 10 hours a day as I am preparing for an IAS examination. It requires a lot of hard work. Just yesterday, I wrote 3 essays and read 4 chapters. That's your flowing example. Students, remember to repeat me. Okay? Let's see. Let's take another one here. Teaching guru. Just a moment. You were gone there. So let me find you. Teaching guru says, I often study about, it's not usual teaching guru. You want to rephrase that. So how often do you study is not, I studied about 4 years for my bachelor's. Okay, you need to say, when the question, students, is how often, you need to use always, often, usually, sometimes, rarely, never, and give specific quantitative language like Bagzad is doing. I usually spend 5 to 6 hours a day for improving my math skills. For instance, yesterday, I only did 2 hours and paid more attention to this speaking exam. Yeah, and Bagzad, again, if you want to avoid using for example, just use just yesterday. Okay, you can flow into it by saying just yesterday. All right. Well, I must say that I study quite often as I'm a university student. So it is around 10 to 12 hours daily, just yesterday I read about 150 pages and wrote an 8-page essay. There you go. All right, that would be your Band 9 answer. So repeat after me. How often do you study? Well, I must say that I study quite often as I'm a university student, so it is around 10 to 12 hours daily. Just yesterday, I read about 150 pages and wrote an 8-page essay. Notice using that just to get that smooth flowing example into my answer. That's how you get a high band score, students. It really is. You combine these strategies of correlative conjunctions, okay, connections among your answers, and smooth flowing examples, and you will definitely improve your band score by at least 1 band, okay? As long as you're using it correctly, the language and the grammar, you will improve your band score. I'm sure of it. It's tried, tested, and true. Again, we've had students go to the exam, they've done this, and they've said, hey, Adrian, you're right. I got a better band score this time. So try it out, okay? Okay, here we go, students. Let's keep motoring. Let's try to combine all 3 of these strategies, okay? So here we go. Beautiful question here for part 1, using present perfect. Has the information people learned, by the way, this could be a part 3 question as well. It's a little bit on the more difficult side. So has the information people learn in public schools changed from 20 years ago? All right. Try to combine all 3 of these strategies. So try to combine correlative conjunctions. Try to refer back to one of our previous or one of your previous answers and get a smooth flowing example into your response. Okay, try to combine all 3 of these into this question. Has the information people learned in public schools changed from 20 years ago? All right, give me a nice full sentence answer and merge these 3 strategies together. When you're practicing at home, it'll take a bit before you get fast and fluent, but it will work. Okay, it will work for you. So yeah, I'm looking at some of the chat, and Pachu, you're right, and the odd one out, sometimes people will score a band 9 by accident, but it's not common, okay? You have to remember, millions of people take the Ielts, so there are lucky instances, and sure, it's like the lottery. Some people win, but you're not going to sit the Ielts exam banking on the lottery, okay? Munzir Khalid Khan says, in the last 2 decades, learning mechanisms have changed. Okay, sorry, Munzir, I'll read that again. In the last 2 decades, the learning mechanism has changed significantly. People have started using digital media available on the internet. Munzir, it's a great start. You're using present perfect, which is nice. Try to get that correlative conjunction in there. Try to get that smooth flowing example in there. Try to connect it to a previous comment. Okay? And then you've met my request. So Marasa says, I think the information hasn't changed by way of learning has improved. Like nowadays, most schools focus on lessons of high-level technologies. Marasa, good getting your example in there, but you haven't referred back to a previous question. And I didn't really see a correlative conjunction in there either. All right? Abhishek Dangwal says, the pattern of education in public schools has been changing from 2 decades before, as practical education has not only become more focused now, but also more theoretical, like quantum physics in grade 12. Whoo! Abhishek, you and me, we just made a good team. It was a great answer, and I adjusted you with a little bit of correlative conjunction love, as well as a bit of smooth flowing quantum physics example for all you brainiacs out there. How did you like them apples? All right, let's see who else has got what. By the way, that was an absolute Band 9 example there with the adjustment. Sahil says, in the past few decades, the information has completely changed, like people's memories, the something with the help of books, but nowadays it's totally different. Students usually learn from ebooks. Sahil, I think you have a lot of information going on in there. Sort it out, cut it down a bit, trim it, focus on just one idea, and then get it out. Okay, it will be better. All right. Rekha Rawat says, definitely learning methods have changed drastically, as now technological devices are used, such as smart projectors, followed by school management. Like in my business class, there's a $5,000 interactive projector that hangs above the whiteboard, just like the one I have up above me. That's why I can do a lot of fancy stuff on the monitor here. Okay, so good. All right, the tools and the information can change in the classroom. Very good, students. Some really nice answers there. Okay, you're doing great. I love how you're really putting yourself out there. You're being confident, not worrying about mistakes. That's good. Okay, I'm here to help you. I'm here to correct you. So get it out there. All right. Absolutely. The methodology for teaching. So absolutely, both the methodology for teaching and materials have changed in the government school system. As I previously mentioned, I'm learning communication skills, and this is taught in public schools with fancy new interactive projectors using the internet. This simply wasn't available 20 years back. All right. That will be your nice, long, complex correlative conjunction with reference and smooth flowing example Band 9 answer. Repeat after me, students. Absolutely, both methodology for teaching and materials have changed in the government school system. As I previously mentioned, I'm learning communication skills, and this is taught in public schools with fancy new interactive projectors using the internet. This simply wasn't available 20 years back. All right, fantastic. Now, a little bit more, students, a little bit more. And this is very, very important. So now, you know, we've covered some very important strategies for how to improve your band score while you are doing your speaking interview, okay? So when you're doing your speaking interview, correlative conjunctions, connections among answers, and flowing smooth examples, using these in combination will improve your band scores, promise you. Practice that at home, okay? You have to practice that at home. You can't expect to just naturally do that without practice. That's what can help you during, okay, to improve your band score. Now, some point here, or a little bit of magic, that will help you to improve your score before you go into the interview. Okay, so before you go into your speaking interview, there are two important points to remember to improve your band score, or at least to retain your band score. All right? And some of our students will help me here that are regulars. When you go into your speaking exam into Ielts, first of all, when should you get to your exam? So how much time before your scheduled interview should you arrive to your exam? How much time? Right on time, 5 minutes before, 10 minutes late, 15 minutes before. Bamit says 15 minutes. Sahil says 15 minutes. Afsana says, let's do an hour. Mahe says 30 minutes. Yeah, I suggest 45 minutes to an hour. Okay? So you should get there 45 minutes to an hour before. So, of course, there's a couple, and same with your test, by the way. So if it's on a different day, same with your listening, reading, writing, okay? So get there 45 minutes to an hour before. Why? Get familiar with the surroundings. And even more importantly, take sample questions with you. Find another candidate who is there and ask them to practice with you. They will thank you for it. Okay? So find a candidate that's sitting in the hallway or on a chair. Looks like they're like this. Maybe they're biting their nails. Okay, they're probably just getting ready for their IELTS exam. They will be happy that you distracted them from their thoughts of imminent destruction and ultimate demise. Remember, the sun will shine tomorrow. If it doesn't, it's too late anyway. So find that nervous-looking student and say, in English, even if they speak the same language as you, in English, say, excuse me, you look like you may be here for the IELTS speaking interview. Do you have a couple minutes to practice questions with me? Just to warm up our minds, get comfortable, get confident, okay? And hopefully they'll say, yeah, of course, yeah, I'm here for the speaking. Please, let's go to a spot and ask me some questions. I'll do the same, okay? And then do a little exchange. It's great. All right? And if you have 30, 40 minutes to do that, fantastic, okay? If that student only has 10 minutes, don't worry, ask another student, okay? Be proactive, okay? That's good for you. All right, now you need to visualize the examiner. So you've had that good 40 minutes warm up, okay, 30, 40 minutes. You spoke to a couple other candidates. Your English brain is turned on. Your English speaking is turned on. Now it's your turn. Hopefully by this time you're not biting your nails like a maniac and you're calm and you're confident. You go into the exam room. Before you go into the exam room, okay, you need to do a couple things. The first thing before you go into the exam room is a mental checklist. All right? And this is kind of a new strategy that we're working on, and we're really trying to tell a lot of students, all of our students, to do this before the speaking, which is a mental checklist of 5, 6 items that you need to do, okay? And this can be a little bit different for different students, okay? So let me use Roman numerals here. Okay, so maybe your first one, maybe you often forget to use correlative conjunctions in your speaking. So you've been in these live IELTS classes, you've studied from our website, you know you're supposed to use correlative conjunctions like not only, but also, but you always forget. You're like, I always forget to use these both and, not only, but also, either or. So your mental checklist, and you practice this at home, should be, okay, number one, Adrian, use correlative conjunctions. Okay? So number two, what could be a number two? What would be a good one to, okay, do this. Okay? Oh, strategies we talked about today. So like and as, okay? Oh yeah, okay, I got to include those examples. All right? Use like and as. Okay? What else? What else could be included in your checklist? All right. What else? Students. Yeah, so smooth flowing, Marasa, exactly. Think about examples. Keep calm. Trust your skills. Yeah, so that's a good one for your mental checklist, even though it's intuitive. Stay calm. Okay. Stay calm. Think about the examiner, and this is the one that's just below it. So you see it here, visualize the examiner. Stay calm. Think about the examiner as what, students? What's a good way to visualize or see the examiner? As your, not your friend, Sahil, because you get too comfortable with your friend. So something better than your friend. Danica says, as your grandparent, your grandfather, your grandmother. That's right. Okay, and they love you. Yeah, so your grandparent, when you see them, you speak loud because maybe they don't hear very well. What did you say to me there, Sonny Jim, my little dear granddaughter? Yeah, so you want to speak loud. They can't hear you. They don't know about Facebook and texting and tweeting. So use full sentences and clearly explain ideas, okay? So think about them as your grandparents. Sure. What else? So this is your mental checklist, okay? Again, 2-3 minutes before you walk into your exam room with the speaking instructor, you're going, okay, correlative conjunctions, include examples, stay calm. This is my grandpa, this is my grandma, all right? So what else? What else? Okay. Drink water. That should be earlier on, sure. Say to yourself, you can do it. Take a deep breath. Yeah, but what other strategies are you thinking? What else are you thinking? You're staying positive. What else? Technical strategies. You have to remember technical strategies, okay? You might think something like, okay, so this can be different for different people, and maybe you're one of those students who always forgets to use the card and the notes during part 2. So maybe you're one of those students that takes the 1 minute, writes down some notes, reads the card, and then starts talking for 2 minutes like this to the examiner and completely forgets that there's a card that they can look down at, so they just keep looking at the examiner and talking like this, and then after the examiner says, stop, your 2 minutes is up, give me the card back and the note paper and the pencil, then you go, oh my gosh, I didn't even look at the card. I don't think I answered like 3 of the 4 questions. Oops. No good, okay? So if you're one of those students, your mental checklist, one of the points should be look at the card, look at my notes, answer all the questions, okay? So you need to be able to do that, all right? So different students might have different checklists. You make your own checklist, okay? Your checklist should be custom for you to get that high IELTS band score, all right? And again, visualize your examiner as your grandpa or your grandma. All right. So, students, some fantastic strategies for you there for before you go into your interview. So, before you go into your interview, focus on those correlative conjunctions, go through your mental checklist. Visualize the examiner as your grandpa or your grandma. Get to your interview 45 minutes before, all right? It's very, very important. When you're in your exam, make sure to do that. So make sure you're using correlative conjunctions. Connect among your answers and have smooth flowing examples. Smooth flowing examples to get those high IELTS band scores. Students, that's it for me today. Here's a quick snapshot at a part 2 question. This is homework, especially members. Please do this. I really want to help you out, all of you. This is for everyone. So here's a part 2 card. Describe a healthy and fit person you know that plays sports. Who is the person? What sports do they play? How does playing sports affect this person's life? What is your opinion of him or her? You have 1 minute to plan, 2 minutes to speak. So this question is for homework, okay? Use your phone, record your answers. You can see this question in the stream description. You can also see it in the video in about half an hour when it uploads to our YouTube channel or processes to our YouTube channel. You can send the MP3 to my email, adrian@aehelp.com, and I will give you a free score. Okay, I will gladly give you a free score. So, don't forget, visit our world-class websites for awesome IELTS help to get the right strategies and improve band scores effectively and quickly. aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Again, that's this website here with the blue background. Click that red button. And gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. It's this one with the green background. Again, hit that big red button and you're on your way to some IELTS skills, practice tests, and videos. Students, thank you so much for being with me today. Good on you for improving your skills. Members, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. You make this possible for others as well to learn. Have a wonderful rest of your day and sweet dreams if you're getting ready for bed. If it's late in your country, make sure to get a good night's rest. Wake up tomorrow fully charged. Practice the skills that you learned today. Bye for now, everyone.